Former Chief Foreign Correspondent Phillip Williams is with me in the studio now to take a closer look at how the Russian advance is progressing. And we do have a map of Ukraine, and the block red areas show the areas that have been taken by Russia. The hatched areas are ones where Russian forces are putting Ukrainian forces under pressure. It's a useful tool.
It is.
What does it tell us about Russia's military strategy?
Well, it tells us that we'll start in the north here first. You can see this push down towards the capital, Kyiv, and they're close to surrounding it, and that's being reinforced from the north in that direction. Second largest city, Kyiv, almost totally surrounded now. City of 1.5 million, increasingly getting very, very difficult for people to get out of there. In this area, in these rebel-held areas, these have been held for many years now, there hasn't been a huge amount of progress in the sense that there's only been a bit of a breakout here. The Ukrainians have managed to hold that line, but it's really in the south that the real problems, the real issues are coming for the military. Here you can see from the south here, from Crimea, which is already held by the Russians, into this whole territory here, from Mariupol down to Kherson and over towards Odessa. Now, Odessa is a really important town. It's the last port town of any significance that the Ukrainians do not control. They still have a toehold here with Mariupol, but it's very tenuous. That's the place that's being bombed relentlessly at the moment.
And Ukraine's president says that Russian forces are preparing to bomb Odessa.
Absolutely. Most people expect that the Russians will not stop where they are, that they'll continue that push all the way to the border to Moldova.
What's significant about Moldova? Well,
Moldova is not aligned. It doesn't have the protection of NATO. It's a tiny country, 2.5 million people. It already has a breakaway Russian-supported band on its east, and that is obviously already a pressure for the Moldovans. It has been for 30 years. They are very scared that the Russians will move further west and involve their country as well. No accident that US Secretary of State Blinken was there yesterday, I guess trying to reinforce and support the Moldovans. But, you know, that could well be another target of Vladimir Putin, and he knows it's not NATO, and therefore NATO is not likely to respond.
What about Mariupol, which is right next to you there?
Absolutely.
200,000 people trapped there.
200,000 people. These people should have been able to escape because there was an 11-hour period when they should have been able to take this route all the way over here, right over to Zaporizhzhia, and that didn't happen. They didn't even get out of the city. Why? Because there was shelling, this 11-hour supposed period when they could all get out, and that would be men, women, children, civilians that have been bombarded now for 6 days. No power, no electricity, no water, diminishing food supplies. But because that shelling didn't stop, it was called off for the second time. So this is really becoming terribly urgent. The people of Mariupol can only hang on for so long, and Red Cross and others are trying to ensure that third time lucky. We've got new negotiations possibly.
Who brokered that ceasefire?
Well, that was brokered between the Ukrainians and the Russians, but that's been through the auspices of the Red Cross. Right. But it just hasn't worked. So who do you blame? Well, it depends which side you're on as to who you say destroyed that potential for those people. But what it means is that there are now hundreds of thousands of people in grave danger, still under heavy fire in Mariupol, and for the moment, unable to make that escape. Once they get over there, they still got to get to the further west to even get out of the country to ensure that they're not actually going to be bombed or shot.
It's a desperate situation.
Really desperate.